a CDC color presentation.
There's nobody here.
Well, sure. Look at all those barrels. This has got to be the place.
Yeah, I guess so. And look at your barrel. It's sick.
Yeah, is it ever? Well, that's why I brought it here. This is a barrel hospital.
No, it's a cooperage.
Well, that's what I said. It's a barrel hospital. New barrels get born here and old ones get operated on.
Hey, well, why do they call it a cooperage? Do you know?
Well, I think it's because the people who make barrels are coopers.
Well, why are they called coopers?
Ask me another question.
You don't know, right? Do you know anything?
Well, I don't know any answers to questions. You see, you always ask me the wrong questions.
Oh. Well, how about this one? When you get your barrel fixed, what are you going to do with it?
Well, I think maybe I'll make it into, well, I could put it up on my wall and,
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I don't know. So what do people do with barrels anyway?
Well, it looks like they've done a lot with barrels here. Look at
Yeah.
this. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Hey! Wow.
That's beautiful.
For your knitting.
Yeah.
Oh, your liquor.
Right.
Hey, there's a bank.
Yeah, like a piggy bank, only it's a
Yeah, but
barrel
it's
bank.
empty.
Yeah.
And
Here's
a
a
jar.
pail, and that's a cookie jar there, I guess. Here's one here that's quite a gas. Look at that. It's a conga drum, right? It's made like a barrel, but it's got a skin on top. Give it a whack. Ah. Send message across shining mountains. Send barrel maker.
Isn't it amazing what they can do with a barrel?
It really is. It's terrific. Hey, listen, while we're killing time here, why don't we just sing a little song till somebody shows up there?
Okay. Hey, I know the perfect song.
What?
Roll out the barrel. What else, right?
Here we go. Roll out the barrel. We'll have a barrel of fun. Yes, sir. Roll out the barrel. We've got the blues on the run. Everybody, sing! We were just sort of singing here till somebody showed up.
So we heard.
We should introduce ourselves. I'm Pat.
How do you do,
and
Pat?
this is Susan.
Hi.
Susan, I'm Bob Oudenaarden.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
What can I do for you?
Well, I thought you'd never ask, Bob. This is a barrel that is in dire need of your help.
Yeah, right.
The hoop has come off there and it's all bashed up.
That one is in bad shape.
Can you fix it?
I think we can do something with it, yes.
But will it take a long time?
It shouldn't take too long. No, we can have it fixed in a fairly short time. And in the meanwhile, can I take you around the plant and show you how we make the barrels?
We'd love to.
That'd be really
Thanks very
neat.
much.
All right, well, let's go up this.
Okay.
Here is where it all starts. The logs are coming up the log slip, and they will be put right into a crosscut saw that will cut them to the right length.
Bob, you start right from a log, and it ends up a barrel, right?
That's right. We start right at the beginning here. You see the log cut, and it will come down in a moment, where they will start splitting it up into the right size of wood. Here is the big steam hammer being put into place. The man is putting a wedge in the right position, and down comes the steam hammer, and he starts splitting it up like a big piece of cake that's being cut into triangles.
Does it matter if it's done evenly?
He's trying to do it as even as possible, but he takes advantage of the natural splits in the wood. That way we can save wood and get a little bit more out of it.
So he's got to really know his wood, right?
He has to know his wood, and he has to know how it will split when he puts those wedges on.
What kind of wood is this?
This is fir, British Columbia Douglas fir. It's one of the best pieces of wood to make into wooden barrels. And now you can see them move it along the line here to the next operation. There is a man here with a couple of tongs. He's picking up the piece of wood and feeding it into the big boulder saw that's taking the round edge and the bark off of it, slicing it up into 3 to 4 inch wide slices of wood.
Is that the average size you slice it into?
That's the average size for this size of a barrel. It all depends what size of a barrel we're working on.
So it's called a boulder saw, Bob?
A bolter saw. They're
Bolter.
bolting in.
Oh, I see.
These pieces are flitches now. Bolting the pieces of wood, and these pieces that you just saw cut are now cut on a round, a circular saw that's cutting the circle into the wood. The round shape of the barrel is starting to find its shape in here.
That looks dangerous, is it?
It is a very dangerous machine, and most machines are dangerous. You have to know what you're doing, and it's the operator that has to do the thinking.
Right.
Machines don't think, and they just run. Here you can see the pieces of stave now coming through. They're very rough still, but they have a basic shape cut into them.
You can see they got a bit of a curve now, eh?
They have the curve in them. Now, sideways, they're still pretty square. That has to be changed, and the man on the big jointer, that's what you see here now, is cutting a slight, sort of an oval shape into it, and he's also smoothing off the edges. He has to know what he's doing because he can cut off too much wood too easily. So he really has to watch what he's doing here. It's a very dangerous machine also. Here they're sorting them out and piling them up to be transported to the fellow that bends them. And these bent staves then will be piled up in this manner. This is not a barrel, this is just a barrel shape. They go into a dry kiln and stay in there for 12 hours to dry. When they come out on the other side, they'll have the shape of a barrel stave, but they will have to be sorted out yet and made into a barrel. They have to stay in here, and it's pretty warm in there and really dry.
What would the temperature be?
It will be around 180 to 120 degrees perhaps, depending also on the thickness of the wood. And now that you've seen this, we'll have to take you across the street here to the assembly plant to show you how we make a barrel.
How long's the factory been here, Bob?
Well, this factory, the mill, has been here since 1946, but the company started way back in 1889 in Victoria, when Michael Sweeney, the grandfather of the Sweeneys that are working here now, started up a cooper shop in Johnston Street. He gradually enlarged the shop, and in 1912 started up a branch plant in Vancouver.
Do Sweeneys still work at the plant or run?
Yes, the Sweeneys, it's the great-grandchildren that are working here now in the summer as summer students.
Oh.
In 1914, we actually started in the assembly plant across the street, and in 1946, we built the mill because we needed a plant a lot closer than we had before when our mill was in Victoria. It's a lot easier to work it this way when you're just across the street from each other.
How many men would be employed at the mill?
In the mill, there are at the moment about 45, and in the assembly plant about 25. Now, let's get you up the steps here, and I'll show you inside the assembly plant. There you go. Here you'll see them work on the oak instead of fir. We have a different kind of wood here because we're making just this kind of a product today.
Oak is a hardwood, right?
Oak is a real hardwood, and our British Columbia oak is not quite good enough for this container because it's too porous. But this is good white oak from the southeastern United States. Here you'll see the man setting up a barrel. You'll really see a barrel made now. He just takes those staves, just like you saw them at the mill, but these are oak staves, and he puts them in a circle. He can only put a certain amount of wood in that ring because he just that ring is just that size.
How does he get it even? They're so odd pieces.
They're odd pieces, but at an average size, you always end up with the same size of barrel. He just can't put any more wood in that bottom circle that you saw in there. There's a certain
Yeah,
width.
right.
Oh, I see. It has to be the same at the bottom always.
Yes, actually, the bottom is what he uses for it. Actually, it's in the center where it determines the size of the barrel. He'll tighten this up now and put a temporary hook on there. He can't go all the way because oak is pretty hard here, really, and it needs to be softened up a bit before you tighten those ends together. There's quite a bend in there and quite a pressure. Here, they put them into the steam chamber, and that's live and real hot steam that goes right into the barrel a short ways, and that will soften up the wood sufficiently to tighten up that loose end that you still see in this barrel.
How long does it go in the steam?
About 4 or 5 minutes. That's sufficient for the wood to soften up. He'll tighten up that loose end now and put a head on it. There. And that will have to be dried. The moisture they put in to soften it up will have to come out of here again. He'll put them on a fire pot that will just dry it for a few minutes and take that moisture that took a few minutes to get into it out of there again.
Does that tighten it up more, the heat?
No, the heat will dry it and consequently loosen it. It needs to be tightened down. That's what he does here now. He tightens down some more and really hammers it with a Cooper's hammer. Straightens out the staves that haven't fitted right into the form. He hammers out the staves into the truss hoops, and he'll tighten down some more on the truss hoops.
Those hoops will be the final hoops that will stay on the barrel.
No, these are the truss hoops. They're temporary hoops. They're about 3/4 of an inch to an inch thick, and that gives them a surface to hammer on with a big hammer of this.
Oh, right.
And now here is the trusser that will grab those hoops and push them down and really tighten up on those staves. They're really pressed together so that they are water and airtight.
Looks so easy with the machine, doesn't it?
It's a powerful machine, and it's not too difficult with the machine. There he goes, down on the top. Now we put them on the fire, and we char the inside of a barrel to make a real layer of charcoal on the inside. That's a necessary part of making whiskey.
This is a whiskey barrel.
This is a real whiskey barrel made out of white oak, and you'll put out...
What's he doing there? What's that? Is that a chemical?
It's a wet towel, just plain water. We don't use any fancy chemicals or anything. We use plain water to put out the fire.
Is the charring inside, is that better for the taste of the whiskey?
That determines the taste and the drinkability of the liquor that's in this particular whiskey barrel. It determines the color, and it takes poisons out of the mash that they will make the whiskey out of.
Will whiskey barrels be one of your biggest supplies?
They are one of our major products here. We make a real nice whiskey barrel. It's a good product, and A lot of distilleries use them.
What was just done to the barrel?
They just cut the groove into it, into the ends of the barrel, to fit the head in. As you can see, the center is a lot wider than the ends. If they put a head in it, it will just drop to the center and lay there loose.
Yeah, right.
But they have to cut in a groove to fit the edge of the head into. And you'll see that done now. They loosen up the end of the barrel by taking off those end hoops. They spread apart a little bit again, and that allows this man to put the head, to slide it into place, into that groove in there. You can see him put the head in the machine now, lower it down, and press it into place. Then he'll put the final head hoop, that's the hoop at the very end. Here comes the hoop. He puts it on there. He'll tighten that down, and that head, the only way you can get it out of there is by taking out this piece of steel or breaking up the head. It's really tight in there. It's air and water tight.
Are the other hoops on it permanent now?
No, they'll all come off. All those thick hoops will come off, and a steel band will replace them. That's the final hoop piece. 2 hoops on this one. That sander belt in the back there, you can see that's moving. The barrel is moving. It goes back and forth and sideways, and it's sanding it smooth. It takes the slippers out of there, any discoloration, any rough edges are taken off, and you end up with a nice and beautiful piece of oak.
I've never seen any glue used at all, Rod.
No, you won't see any glue in this product at all. It's all done with pressure. The sideways pressure on the stave maintained by those steel bands. The pressure on the heads also in the top end there maintained by those same hoops. Here you'll see that they tighten down those hoops and put on the bilge hoops and the 3/4 hoops.
Now these are the final hoops.
These are the final hoops. After he's through with this, you have a barrel. You can't get into it yet because, as you have seen, they've closed off all sides,
Right.
and they'll have to drill a hole to be able to fill the barrel with the liquid. And there's a special machine that does that. Here you can see the drill press. They'll position it right over the right stave. It's a wide, strong stave. Drill a hole right in there, and then you can fill the barrel. You'll have to check it out yet, though, because sometimes there are cracks that the human eye can't see.
What's that he's pouring in there?
He's putting some boiling hot water in there now, and after this he'll put some air pressure on there and check it over to see if any of that hot water comes out. If that water comes out of there, the barrel's no good. You'll have to have it fixed, and that's done by a real cooper in the cooper shop.
Are many barrels, do they need fixing?
Not too many of these barrels need fixing because we check them before they're this far, but we have to have a final check after they've been put together. And that fixing, you can see that later on.
That was an air hose there.
That's
right?
just air pressure that goes into it.
And then you put a plug in it.
And then he puts a plug in it because you don't want any dirt to come into it.
Right.
And that barrel was okay then?
That's a good barrel, and it is a go for the manufacturer.
Who fixes the barrels that are leaking?
Vito Donatello.
Hey, can we meet him?
You may meet him later.
Oh, great.
Now these barrels that you see here are some of them that are made by hand by the hand cooper here, whose name is Vito Donatello. Vito, buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
And welcome. You make all your barrels by hand, right?
Everything is small, big one, everything make a hand.
Are you the only one here?
Yes,
Make them by hand?
Make my hand. The big one too.
What?
Yeah, big one. Look.
Yeah.
What's the word in Italian for cooper? Barrel maker.
Bottaio.
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 That is what you are.
Yeah.
You are bottaio.
Bottaio in Italiano. In English, cooper.
I'm cooper. I see.
Cooper,
Like
yes.
the word in French is bouteille, so you were.
In French, different. Yeah.
Right.
In Spanish, just an Alberto in Italy.
And you can make any kind of barrel for any kind of occasion or situation, right?
Anytime, make big.
You made some barrels for a film called McCabe and Mrs. Miller, right? A film, a cinema. Yes, you made those?
Yes.
And they were of course very famous. Your barrels are famous because they've been seen all over the world.
Inside the cinema.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Now you also make drums.
Drums.
Yeah.
Yes.
Congo drums?
Congo drums.
Congo drums?
Yeah. Small, big.
Any size.
Every size.
Every size.
Every size.
Do you play conga drums or bonga drums?
What is the big one just like you?
As big as me.
Oh, yeah.
Make them that big.
Big like you.
How long would it
drums,
take?
yes.
How long would it take to make a big drum?
Big, along the
How long?
time. Half a day.
Half a day.
Half a day,
You
one.
don't
I don't believe. I don't believe. Half a day.
How much to make one of those? How long?
How long?
To make one of those little barrels?
3 hours for me.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long, Vito? How long would it take you to teach her to be a cooper?
Well, no, just now inside the brains. Inside
she
the
got lots of
brains.
brains.
That's smart, I
So lots of brains. 1 year.
1 year?
1 year. First cooper.
Okay. That's a great idea.
1 year. First cooper.
Vito, we'd
She
like
stay
to
near
thank
me.
you. Grazie mille. Thank you for talking with us.
Grazie,
Okay?
prego.
Prego. See you later. Hey, my barrel looks terrific. Looks like a
lovely.
brand new barrel. Thanks a lot, bro. That's terrific.
Good. Hey, Bob, I know there's different names to barrels, like tons and firkins. What's the difference between a ton and a firkin?
Well, a ton, that's an old English measurement, and that's 252 wine gallons. And half a ton is a hogshead, and it's a wine pipe, and half a wine pipe is a hogshead, and you cut that in half again, and you have a barrel. Now, firkin, fir is an old English short for firth or fourth, a fourth of a barrel. Kin, lambkin, catkin,
This is a very
indication
small.
for something very small. So a firkin is a small barrel, that's all that is.
Oh,
Pretty simple if you know it.
Fantastic old words we don't hear anymore. Can you tell me, what does the word cooper come from?
Cooper, well, that's an old word again, and it's cup, cupper, cooper. There you are. It's the shape of the barrel that indicates it. The man that makes it is a cooper.
I see.
Yeah,
So that's what
yeah.
this song is all about, eh?
what song?
Well, I got a song called The Wee Cooper to Fife.
The wee Cooper to Fife.
Yeah. You like to hear it?
Right.
There once was a Cooper who lived in Fife.
Nickety, nackety, doo, doo, doo. And he had taken a company wife.
Hey, Willie Rubbity, oh, John, the good She wouldn't have bake, she wouldn't have brew.
Nickety, nackety, doo, doo, doo.
Spoil enough for company hue. Hey, Willie Wallachie, oh, John, the good
She wouldn't have cart and she wouldn't have spin.
Nickety, nackety, doo, doo, doo.
For the shaming o' her gentle kid.
Hey, Willie Wallachie, oh, John, the good Oh, well, no can for you, man. The Cooper's away to his woodcock.
Nickety, nackety, doo, doo, doo. He laid a sheepskin on his wife's back.
Hey, Willie Wallachie, oh, John, the
I'll no thrash you for your gentle kid.
Nickety, nackety, doo, doo, doo.
But I will thrash me ain sheepskin.
Hey, Willie Wallachie, oh, John, the good Oh, I will bake and I will brew. Nickety, nackety, I'd never think thought of my comely hue.
Hey, Willy Wallacky, ho, da 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 la la, da da shitty doo doo doo.
I will carve and I will spin, lickety duckety doo doo doo. I'd never think of my gentle kin.
Hey, Willy Wallacky, ho, da 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 la la, da da shitty doo doo doo.
Hard,
Have you got a gentle wife? Nickety nackety doo doo doo. To send you for me coop a fight. Hey, Willy Wallacky, ho, da 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 la la, da da shitty doo doo doo. Hey, Willy Wallacky, ho, da 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 la la, da da shitty doo doo doo.
Oh, thank you.
That was
Thanks, Bob.
beautiful.
Hey, Bob, we'd like to thank you very much for inviting us over here.
yes.
Well, it was a real pleasure showing you around, and
So
as you see the
hospitable.
barrel,
You did a nice job on my
Next time
barrel.
again.
Terrific.
Yeah.
so you learned something about the barrel that you're going to use.
We learned something about everything. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Bob.
It was a
Bye-bye.
real pleasure. Bye now.